Hello and welcome to the webinar. In this webinar, we will discuss about how to get 50% more repeat visitors in e-commerce website through an effective marketing automation. This webinar is organized by APPSeCONNECT integration platform and Betaout marketing automation platform. So this will be our agenda for today's session. We will discuss about what is marketing automation, what other systems are used by e-commerce merchants and why, how data becomes the key element for marketing automation, and why data from multiple systems need to flow towards e-commerce, how to personalize responses to the users, why approaching at the right time is important, hyper targeted campaigns, positioning your message strongly, and how the data can work for you. We will have a Q&A session at the end, so I'd like to request all attendees to write down their questions. So let's start the presentation. E-commerce is one of the most competitive market, as we know. To get ahead of your competitors, you must be planning marketing actions such as welcome and offer emails, offers posted through social media, tracking website activities of consumers. There are many activities which you are planning or doing. Most of these activities require a lot of effort and manpower to perform, and often the result is not as expected. So marketing automation is the process through which these marketing actions are automated through software or tool so that your manpower can focus on the results rather than performing these activities themselves. So our fellow panelist for this webinar, Arjun, who has deep expertise in this subject, will brief you in this area in short. So now we will talk about e-commerce along with other applications. So merchants use e-commerce along with many other enterprise business applications for different business applications. CRM is widely used by organizations who have a team of sales reps representing them in trade events or in field visits. POS system is a must-have for merchants who have physical stores along with website. Many organizations prefer to sell through marketplaces like eBay, Amazon, Best Buy for selling surplus stock or for volume sales. While ERP is the backbone of most organizations used for a complete business operations for purchase, sales to accounting, inventory management, you name it. And often back office employees record a lot of offline orders within that ERP system. So an effective marketing automation is dependent on the available data. The more complete and seamless the data set is, the more appropriate action flow can be set based on that. E-commerce contains data of online sales only, but the same customer might be purchased through physical store or from the merchant's Amazon seller account. So customer details, sales orders, most frequently purchased item by a customer, customers who prefer to purchase in volume, customers who prefer period discounts. So there are many insights which can only be viewed if all the applications which the merchant is using are seamlessly integrated with each other. So now I would like to hand over this presentation to Arjun, who is the co-founder and head of product and technology at Betaout Marketing Automation Platform. So Arjun, I will pass the presenter control to you so that you can take over from this point and can share.
Thanks, Subhaji. So I will take a minute here and tell very briefly about Betaout so that I can tell you more about the things and about the marketing automation for e-commerce. So through Betaout, we help marketers understand and leverage customer behavior. And out here, the biggest or most important words are understand and leverage the customer behavior. So with Betaout, we are tracking more than 500 million customer profile. We are sending more than 1.1 billion messages across different channels, including email, SMS, browser push, mobile push, and working with more than 100 plus enterprise clients who have offline and online presence together. We are capturing a lot of data points, helping using all those insights coming and context coming from those data points for real-time persona building and intent data. I will explain more what this does with the use cases about personalization. So what's the current problem with a B2C or e-commerce marketing, and why even marketing automation is needed? And like you correctly mentioned, Subhajit, so there are a lot of data which is coming, but they are in different data silos. So a marketer or any person who wants to understand about a consumer behavior has no single view about the end user. They have some different data in their POS system, they have a different data in their analytical system, and different data in their marketing channel system. The second problem which a marketer face in giving a nice, I will say perfect consumer behavior is like doing untargeted messaging because all the data is in different places and the marketing channels are not coordinated properly. That creates a really bad experience for the end consumer, which is a really, far more, loss making proposition for any marketer who has spent a lot in acquiring customers and end up losing those customers because of wrong targeting and uncoordinated marketing. And finally, like to get any kind of marketing campaign run there, a marketer has to depend on the IT department a lot, where they are exporting or importing data from different systems, trying to build the or connect the different data points and then use those for marketers' need, which really creates a far more time execution problem for any marketer, and I will say loss of human talent in that sense. So I will tell from the perspective where marketing automation works very well and how it helps in the retain of a consumer. So we just visualize the points where we are capturing the data points from the end consumer. Those are the trigger points where different actions can be done. So for example, anyone who's made the fourth purchase out there, so that's a trigger point. Any consumer coming and who has made the fourth purchase in last 60 days, ask him that guy to check the latest products which have come in the back in stock while he was missing, and there can be special discount for these guys out there. And the whole idea behind the marketing automation is thinking from the perspective how consumer is seeing all those experiences with the website or the brand, and what message has to go at the right time. So whole idea is like first of all, any marketer is to build their own customer data platform where they understand a consumer from the perspective of product affinity, like what are the categories, what are the products and brands that consumer is interested in. Then there can be predictive data, like what should be the next purchase of this consumer and how that should be pushed in a marketing message. So the minute a marketing message is personalized using the predictive data, or I will say the information which is correct for a consumer, it no more remains a marketing. It's the best way where a consumer enjoys interacting with the message and comes back on the brand and do the next level of purchase. A customer data platform further has to understand from the behavioral and engagement data how a consumer is engaging with the different marketing campaigns of the brand, and also how the behavior of that consumer is on the website. Are they more interested in the discounts? Are they more interested on the higher premium products with a better service possibility out there? Next level which we capture and any marketer should be even focusing on is the personal and demographic data. What are the different properties and how they influence the consumer behavior on that? So a demographic data could be like, is this person a male or female? Is this person from a particular city or area? What has the affinity of that particular segment of customers toward different products? Purchase and browsing history is of course the first intent point which we get, but the point which it grows further is like someone is interested in particular categories and brands of products. What are the next level or the recommended products around that? How it should be captured, how it should be even pushed in the marketing message. And like the mobile device data, different points where they are engaging with the brand. That's another important information which should be captured for the customer data platform a marketer is planning to use. Starting with the retaining of a visitor on the website, so that's the lowest hanging fruit, because in like any shop or in the e-commerce website, the number of visitors coming is always very high, but if the capturing of those visitors into a consumer is not done, there's the biggest loss. So for example, anyone is running a marketing ad campaign and gets a lot of visitors, And if those visitors are not immediately buying, the loss of all those visitors data is being happening, and which can be easily stopped by having a very simple campaign where a email lead capture is done, asking them that whenever next time falling products are back in stock, they should be reached to. It could be easily incentivized, could be with promo code, could be with the latest offers or exclusive offers for those visitors who engage with the exit intent. So, for example, anyone who has entered website, ask him to fill his email or her email. If user has filled the form, stop the campaign. If he has not, ask him to on the next page push to fill the form with the details which are required. Like capture. This is the right time when someone is giving their email. Like what's the gender of that person? If it's captured the right time, whenever the next marketing message will go to that person, it should use that kind of property. I'm going on the next. So showing like how onboard a new customer with a welcome. So let's say a visitor who has come and has made the first purchase. What should be the mail which should be going with the first purchase? Giving a whole walkthrough of the system, like why that's the right correction, but not correct, but why that's the right choice which has been done by the consumer of making purchase from the brand. uh, what are the next level, like if there's a promo code, to have those guys to come back on the website, tell about those promo codes, making sure telling about the social proof, like who are the other customers or how many customers made the same purchase. And that's a great way of giving the confidence to a customer why that purchase done that that customer is the right one. And automating these campaigns is very helpful if the analytics, or I will say monitoring, is done with the engagement and the behavior with those campaigns. Retargeting browse abandon across channels to bring them back. That's a great way of achieving, like whosoever is browsing different products out there, and if those products viewed has not been added to cart, ask them, like if they add this to cart within 10 minutes, don't send any push. If it has not been added to cart even after sending push, send them an email checking if they want to check this again. The whole logic behind building a marketing rule like this is like the context coming from a view product is very high. A consumer is telling like what products they are viewing. They spend more than 30 seconds viewing this product. They check different reviews. But because of some reasons, they were not totally convinced to add the following product in their cart. And if they are given the right nudge, and which can be done through different marketing channels and the marketing content, that's the time where you win back them very easily. You retain them, like they may have left something or their tab open, and if they get a marketing campaign which could be through push, email, SMS, and that further can be bought out in the intelligence, seeing the engagement with different marketing channels. So that's one of the great way of retargeting the consumers and bringing them on the website. Similar to browse abandon is the cart abandon across marketing channels. So idea is this, that someone who has added to cart, he has shown a lot of interest in that product, but again because of final reasons they could not complete the purchase. And all these consumers should be reminded about that, like they left something in cart, and even if needed, some promotional campaigns should be added in those cart recovery campaign. So for example, someone added a product in their cart which was more than, let's say, $500, and we realize the margin out there is higher, and we even want to make sure all these guys get a better engagement with the brand out there. We make sure that next campaign, the cart recovery campaign which goes to these guys, should have a promo code where if they make a purchase in next 2 days, creating an urgency for them, they will get a special discount where there can be free delivery, where there can be a free goodie product out there, so that the engagement with the brand goes very high. Of course, there has to be segmentation done and analytics done around that, where it should be checked, are these the first time visitors, are these the loyal customers? Because you have to make sure with loyal customers, you are not pushing a lot of promo codes. A loyal customer is someone whom we have earned by the quality of our product, quality of our service. And if even if these guys are given a lot of discount, that takes away the brand value. But same time, the promotions should be used with the new visitors so that they realize like the first engagement or the first purchase happens with the consumer. Again, a whole workflow can be created for different segments depending on the products and categories how, of which they are adding in their cart and how they're engaging with them. Automating post-purchase engagement campaign, that's very helpful in getting more feedback about the products, how the consumer like this, like what was their last purchase and if they like this or not. And this helps you not only building the NPS score, knowing more about your product, more about the consumers, how they like it, even about the different services. And finally, this helps realizing, making a consumer believe like their voice is being heard. So, for example, if anyone has made a value purchase and whenever they come back, it should be checked like, what was their happiness score with the product. And if it was not very high, especially with the high value products, it should be personally checked even through a call, like what was missing and how it can be improved. Because there can be nothing far more rewarding for a consumer than being heard by the brand. And this again can be very easily automated and should be done out there. The value which one gets by creating such campaigns is benef- immensely very high. So triggering alert campaigns for subscription renewal. If any brand has a subscription product like where they have a boxes where they are delivered every 30 days and which is about to expire. So it has to be made sure the consumer is told about the next renewal and asked to subscribe again in the right time. Creating a workflow for this is helpful in the sense like no one feels they were charged wrongly. No one feels like they were not informed in the right time. At the same time, if the permission is taken from them and even inform them like what will be given in the next subscription, nothing that makes great that creates a great interest in the consumer about the products and they look forward towards it. So whole idea behind this is approach at the right time. And this is a virtuous cycle which has to be created. For example, if someone visits the website, what are the various new product which he has done or she has done? What's the product affinity with different brands and categories out there? What different products were added in their cart and what were purchased? What was the experience with the whole purchase? Was it delivered in the right time? Did they like the delivery? Did they like the product? Did they like the interaction of the initial time? After which, how the retention is being built in the whole system. Are they want to make another purchase? It can be done through the anniversaries of their purchase. It can be done reminding them how a brand creates or remembers about their birth dates, their anniversaries. So that it's a great way of engaging with them. Once a consumer has become loyal, and definition of loyal is different from different brands, but anyone who has made more than three purchases in last 180 days can be easily called a loyal customer. And such customers can be brought forward towards making or being groomed into a customer advocate because those guys who have regularly purchased from the brand are the ones who loves to even tell their friends and the family members about the brand and can easily become the advocates. And those guys bring a lot of ecosystem or the community around with them. And that's what the ideal consumer for any brand has to be. So connect with the users based on their past behaviors, which is making sure like we respect the consumer's time, we respect the consumer's interest with the brand. So any consumer who's interacting more in the with the email at time from let's say in the evening whenever they're returning from their office, that's the time to ask them to do a following action, which can be derived from the last engagement with the campaigns. This can be done on email, can be done on mobile, on the SMS marketing, even on the browser push. Ideally, like that's where we have to be like a consumer has given us permission to engage on different marketing channels, and we've used those permission correctly. It should not be a bombardment of all the messaging on all the marketing channels simultaneously. That's the worst way of doing any kind of marketing. Everyone hates that. We have to respect our consumers interaction with us, and that's where data has to be used. Doing a hyper targeted campaign is the right way in many sense. It's not as difficult, but it's the most powerful. The whole idea is this, that we need to understand how to segment our consumers, which will be different from different brands and their businesses. But for example, let's take male from Indonesia who are in age group from 21 to 34. They should be put in a different segment, while a segment can be of loyal consumers, and segment can be, female from California in a different age group. The whole idea is this, that these are the data points which tell how these consumers or this bucket of consumers are interacting with different products. These can be derived from the demographics, social attributes, or behavioral data and any other properties. But the whole idea is this: first of all, analyzing how different segments are engaging and how they should be even targeted on different marketing channels with what different marketing message. So first of all, defining the segment and then going on the multi-channel marketing model, we're realizing which are the marketing channels suitable to which segment. So normally an e-commerce uses these five marketing channels, which include email, SMS, browser push, mobile push, on-site, and these are owned by the consumer. Or sorry, these are owned by the brand, where they are not paying anyone else. Once they have established the relationship with the end consumer, there could be paid marketing channels also, which goes on your Facebook advertising, your Google advertising, or any other kind of advertisement, and using segmentation in the system. But best manner is to build your own marketing channels for your engagement with the consumers. So having defined your own segments, the next level is like what has to be messaged with different segments. So for example, loyal customers, they should be told about the what are the top sellers, like latest arrivals, or how there's a special offer for the loyal customers with day shipping or better service. At the same level, if we have realized like who are those customers who made used to make a regular purchase from us, but has not come back and interacted with the brand in last 180 days, try to re-engage them and reactivate them by giving some promo code or some special offer. One of the best ways is giving a personalized coupon code to an end consumer. It can be like, in Betaout, we have made sure like all these things are, out of box and can be activated anytime. And even promo code distribution has been created, keeping this in mind. So making data work for you. Whole idea is that I told about a lot of data from different marketing channels and different areas, including website, your mobile, if the mobile app is there, or mobile web is there, email, how someone is engaging with the email, social, accounts like Twitter, and if they've gone out there, how they've engaged with the brand, put messages on that, if they've recently complained about anything, or if they love the brand out there in some Twitter, Facebook, and other places from social, and also the CRM on external source, like you mentioned about the POS data, about the ERP data, how they've engaged on the offline, and if that data is being captured. And using all these different data points, create these customer data platform with segments, with behavioral information like loyal customers, like first-time customers, mobile users who are coming back regularly, people who have used to make regular purchase from us but has not come back in the last 90 days. And again, these can be different from the different brands and calling them slipping away in different definition. And visitors who are returning regularly but are not making any purchase. So these guys may require some different nudge out there. So once a database like this is created using the different data points and segments are there, you realize like what marketing message has to be for different segments and how they convert to the next level of the loyalty. Using all these data points, you create a personalization engine and engage with the multiple marketing channels, which is like the on-site engagement, like which is inside the website, real-time notification on website, on push or browser push also, email marketing, like having a subject line where it's not only the name of the consumer put in the subject line, but also the last person asking them what was their review on that. Social networks, how it should be even used, bring all those intelligence. If someone created some complaint earlier on the social network, asking them how their purchase was, because that's the time when you can really increase the consumer engagement with the brand and different things. I'm opening the panel for the Q&A.
Yep. Thanks, Arjun, for the insight. So, I got some questions, but I'd like to request all the attendees to start typing down their questions in the questions pane. So you will see there is a question pane within the GoToWebinar control panel, which you are viewing. So kindly ask all your questions, and we will try to answer as many as possible. So, Arjun, I will start with the ones which I have already received. Now, let me check just. So, the first question is marketing automation platform suitable for online business only?
I will say that's a wrong myth in many ways. Uh, just let me just. So marketing automation is required even from the offline. Anyone whosoever is has any place to capture the data points. So marketing automation just help any brand or any business in capturing the data points, using the intelligence from those data points, and engaging on the different marketing channels. So even someone who does not have a e-commerce website can engage on different social networks, like you were mentioning, and there's even APPSeCONNECT help out there a lot in connection. That can be used.
Okay, okay, great. So, another question that I have received is your platform compatible with OpenCart?
Yes, we have a compatibility with more than more than 15 different open source networks, including OpenCart. So we have a out of box connectivity with Shopify, Magento, OpenCart, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, and a host of list other you know e-commerce softwares. And then we have APIs also through which data points can be connected, and that's where we have connected with a POS system also.
Okay, okay, great. So the next question is, if a user is in multiple automation flows, how do you ensure that the user doesn't get multiple communication in the same day?
So in our own system, we have created two safeguard for this. So one is like you can mention like what has to be the minimum difference in like what has to be the frequency capping for a message to be given to a consumer. So like we have mentioned, like a consumer can only get one email in 24 hours. So whatever the first trigger which has gone will be the email which that consumer will be getting. Why not that person will be in multiple workflows? The second is like you can create the priorities of your workflows. So for example, realize like someone is about to get an email in next 2 hours. So this person should not be given a lower priority campaign message. So both the checks has been put in the system, and any marketer can easily change the values for this and you going inside the Betaout system and using a very easy to use UI out there.
Okay. The next question is, how marketing automation be different for B2B and B2C?
So in any B2 business, a marketer's role is to nurture the lead and give it to a sales team. And if the sales guy, realizes like this guy is interested enough, and now they have to go get on a call and try to close the deal. While for an e-commerce guy, the marketing has to do the sales. So there has to be almost no chance of having a sales guy to interact with them in e-commerce. Like it's possible, but in e-commerce, people know what they're looking for. They come on the website, and your marketing message has to be powerful enough to convince a consumer to convert. So that's where the difference happens. In a
Okay.
B2B, marketing is
Hmm.
done, create and given to be a sales team. While in B2C, your marketer is your sales.
Okay. The next question is marketing automation useful for large enterprises or only for SMEs?
It's used for both. It's far more like far more useful from the perspective for large enterprises because the data points which they capture from a consumer is far more. But even from the SME, they are collecting the data points which could be on their, online. There could be, the engagement with after the delivery date, delivery, and all those things. So that's also out there. But for large consumers, of course, the numbers are far more higher. It's very difficult for them to even have any manual intervention needed out there. All those data points gets the context given to them, and automation executed on that. But even for SME, it's equally helpful. It's just the capturing of the data points.
Okay, okay. So I'd like to request attendees to, ask questions here in the question pane so that we can, ask. I can ask these to Arjun and he can answer. Currently, we have two more questions, and if attendees have no further questions, then we will end the session after this. So, Arjun, the next question is: we are using Shopware e-commerce. It's a German company. So,
Yeah.
do you have any plan to be compatible with this platform?
So we have got couple of requests for this, and it's in our product roadmap. Even so, this should be done in next couple of weeks. We can even try to prioritize over this. But the connection can be done through the APIs. We have a server-to-server API where the data can be sent to the Betaout system through the HTTP calls.
Okay, okay, great. So, the next question is, I think it's related to the API. So, we are using Demandware acquired by Salesforce now, which has API call limitation. So,
Mhm.
will it have any impact on marketing automation?
It will help. So again, with Demandware, the limitation is on the different plans which has been taken off the Demandware. So if a higher plan is taken, so more data points can be sent. But ideally, where the limitation of the data points is there, the first one is realizing what are the most important ones. One is the consumer purchase behavior. So what are the things which are being purchased? The lowest, then the lowest hanging fruit is the add to cart and view product, and finally other data points out there.
Okay. The last question, and if there is any no further question, then we will end the session after this. So the last question, as I can see here, is since you work with so many customers, can you share what kind of automation flows are more suitable for smaller businesses where repeat purchases are very less?
I, it will depend on different business. Taking an example of the repeat business is very less. So the first focus should be converting the visitor. I'm not sure what percentage the rate is from the visitor to purchase or lead capture, but we have seen business who focus on converting a visitor and capturing their information, which I was mentioning about the lead capture. This should be done first. The second, whenever we have captured the lead, try to nurture these guys through sending regular email marketing and the SMS marketing to these guys, so that they are engaging with the brand more. Because once they start building the trust with the brand, that's the time they will even make the first purchase. So start engaging with them, start telling them the products, what are the offers for them, and do a lot of A/B testing. I always say this to most clients out here, and which they have even benefits. So after which, do your own email marketing campaign, seeing how consumers are opening your emails, what are the places they're clicking on the email. So that will give you a lot of insight what products are being liked and which you have to push in the next campaign. After which, if someone has opened your last 3, 4 emails, have not made a purchase, you have these guys engaged with a new marketing channel. Make sure you're using this information in your Facebook or custom audience. So put them in a different workflow out there. You can even add CPM rate because you realize these guys came on your website, subscribe to your newsletter, opened your last 4 newsletter. So you can even pay a higher amount for these. And then make sure they make a purchase in the next days, otherwise move away from that custom audience list. And that's
Okay.
I'm sure even doing this will make your purchase conversion rate go very high and make repeat visitors should be sorry repeat customers should be increased. If because of marketing, if they're not becoming repeat customer, then it's fine. But even after marketing, repeat customer rate is not increasing. I will do suggest checking more on the NPS score of the customer, like why they are not coming back and interacting with the website.
Okay. Okay. Our last question I can see here, which is your platform GDPR compliant?
Yes. So we are GDPR compliant. We have given this option. Yeah. So we have rolled out this, and it will be done by before the 25th. So we are GDPR compliant.
Okay. Okay. So there is no questions left. So I think we can end the session, Arjun. Thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot, Sunil, for having me. It was great.
And yeah, and I'd like to thank all the attendees for their time as well. We'll definitely organize a webinar around the similar topic in near future. Thanks for your time and have a nice day ahead.